Right. So the main thing I wanted to focus on today, and guys, celebrations are awesome. I mean, watching what people are doing and getting things going. There is a lot to be said for things, and we've created a very awesome success smorgasbord. I told you guys all along that's what we're here to create, right? And it tastes amazing, and it's going to give you all access to achieve your dreams. But I cannot force you to eat it, right? I can get you there. I can show you where all of it's plated. I can hand you your silverware. I can hand you the plates, the endless plates to eat from, but I can't force you to eat, right? And you'll hear me say this, like I wish I had a button on my cell phone that if I pressed it, a 2x4 would come whacking the back of the head to wake up and get going. I just don't have that. And I would be using it. Because I know, like when we talk to people, they tell you what they want. And you can hear it, right? And you also can relate, right? If they're a grandparent, they want extra money to spoil their kids and they want to be able to travel and have that retirement that they thought they were going to have. But nothing worked the way that it should have worked. Inflation's taken away a lot more. Things just cost more, and so to go and do what they thought they were going to do, just it's just not in the budgets anymore. I mean, guys, 95% of Americans retire broke, right? And and I go through all this, right? And I also got to understand some fundamentals. We are a product of our environments, right? You know, where we're born, the families we're born into, the environments we're born into are literally 90% of what we're going to be developed from. Now, even with all the access to all the education and different things online, that's still pretty much the case. You're a product of your environment. And the thing about this is in the process of that for all of us in what we do, this and I'm gonna put the view on here. Hold on. I'm gonna go to gallery view for me and on there. You guys are on your cameras. I wanna make sure everybody's focused in here. Um I'm gonna move the board around a little bit. There we go. I'll put the newlyweds on for a bit. Yeah, yeah, I see you. All right. So we're products of our environment and there's a lot to be said, right? Like we're born under these parents and every parent wants their kid to have a better life than them, right? And I always say every parent except for those sociopaths, because I've met those weird parents that it seems like they always try to not let their kids succeed and they want to keep them in the house forever. And I think that's just horrible. But outside of that, every parent wants their kid to do better than them. They want their kids to have more than they had. So what it comes down to is you don't know what you don't know. And, this is why the poor stay poor, the rich get richer is, if you don't know how to create wealth, you can't pass that on to your kids. You can't help your kids do something you don't know how to do, right? They're going to have to get that somewhere else. And the rich know how to accumulate businesses and get money working for you, get it working for itself and how to create, cash while you're sleeping, right? And of course, they're going to take care and teach their kids. They're going to set things up and let their kids go and grow from that. Of course, they are. What we don't have is people giving a hand up for those that don't know it and helping educate them so that they can change their understanding that'll ripple effect and change generations. And that's what we get to do here. Now, all that being said, I have found that some of the biggest issues I have, I guess, in helping somebody achieve success, they're all us getting in our own way. You know, Procrastination drives me nuts. People choosing other priorities over what they really want, right? That's why I say, how bad do you want it? What are you willing to do? That bothers me, but it's this thing called taste. It's got to be the number one issue that I've seen teaching people how to succeed and create wealth. And taste is it's and I don't know how else to say it but taste, right? And it kind of goes like this. If you've it, we all know that our value isn't really equal to what we make. Yet that's how we live and that's how we respond. If you make $30,000 a year in your conscious, that's what you think your value is. If the most you've ever made a month is $3,000, you have a taste for making $3,000. You know what $3,000 gives you in quality of life. You know what you can live on with $3,000 a month. That's your taste. You don't know what it's like to have 5,000 or 10,000 or 20,000 in a month if you've never had it. You don't have a taste for it. And one of the things I've seen, and I've been seeing it for decades, is once somebody gets involved outside of the job linear income of trading your time for money, and they start having a way to create extra money, well, once they start making the money that they're used to making, they sabotage their own work to not get ahead of that. Because this is real. And I've heard it from so many different angles. And sometimes it's like, hey, you've got childhood drama you got to get over. You got to get past the past to go forward. And I had to do that because I was raised where if you were wealthy, you were an evil person. The only evil people can get wealthy. I was raised under that pretense, and not from my grandfather, mind you, but from other family members and other sides of the family. And I was raised in an environment where not a lot of wealthy people, and so you didn't hear information from that, and I was so glad that my pursuits and my desires and my skills drove me into sales and marketing, where I got involved with other people that had a lot more affluence minded to teach me and pay that forward to me to change my environment. And that's why I get to do with you guys is someone reached down and gave me a hand up and introduced me to more people that gave me more inspiration and poured into me. My mentors are what created what Rory turned into, and I'm so grateful they were there for me because my natural environment wasn't doing it. Still doesn't do it. The families I came from, they're not millionaires, not one of them. There's some that have millions in properties now, and that's few, and that's it. I got a couple like that. That's it. And they're not creating millions of dollars in cash flow a year by any means. And I wish they were. I didn't come from that. No one in my family could teach me that, right? So I had to learn from other people, and that's great. And what I've seen is I had to adjust my taste, right? I got to a point where I was like, man, I'm not making where I want to go, and I had to realize that I needed to allow myself to deserve that, right? And I realized from childhood that I felt like I was becoming an evil person because I was making more and more money. And 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 once I realized it and discussed it with mentors, and they let me know, like, we understand, right? We had a similar, we understand where you come from. We understand that, but this is what you can do. And look at the good you can do with money. Look what you can help other people with money, and you can invest in things that you help projects go, right? And and I think that's, that was so awesome for me to see that, and then it changed perspective. I also realized that I needed to manifest more than just having it. I always had what I needed. That always worked out, but I never had so much extra until I realized I deserve to have overabundance so that I can do more. Right? Having the money just to do what you want to do is great, but you want overabundance so you can actually help others, not just yourself. You can be in a place to invest and be part of other things. And I had to adjust my taste. And I had a mentor that said, you gotta like the finer things, right? Get a nicer car, eat at nicer restaurants so that you develop a taste, so that you push harder for that. Because once you understand that, then you're going to make more and more money, and you can only eat so much. You can only spend so much out, right? So then now you're going to be accumulating more. And that was a really good advice for me. And I learned to like savor life and pour into it. But my taste for food meant I needed to make a lot more money because I like going to expensive restaurants. I like being able to not worry about what it costs and be able to enjoy the finer things. And not only enjoy them, but to enjoy them with others and be able to pay for the whole tab every time I go somewhere. It was something that was really important for me. And you guys, I've been able to do it in big ways. I set a goal that I wanted to buy, barbecue for everybody at Terry Black's in Dallas for an event, and there was hundreds of us. And guess what? We did it. That was so awesome for me to be able to just boom, let's just do this. This this taste thing. has to do with everything, how you vacation, how you live, the home you live in, what you're able to help your kids with. And the thing about it is if your taste isn't growing, then usually you're not adapting and growing towards that, right? Because it's not all about, hey, I want more stuff. It's no, I have a taste for it because I deserve it. I want to enjoy this life. I want to enjoy the finer things in this life. Because God put all these amazing things on this planet for us to enjoy. Yeah, there's a monetary balance. So if you want to, go to Bora Bora, you've got to have the money to go to Bora Bora. You got to have the cash flow to go to Bora Bora. Well, we have a vehicle that allows us to have all of that. What stops us isn't the system. What stops us isn't the marketing. What stops us is us believing that we can do it and us allowing ourselves to succeed without stopping ourselves with subconscious issues. And the subconscious issues are called subconscious because you don't think about it. It's something you've patternized into your life. It's something you were born into in an environment and you may not realize you're in it. So, you'll see those of us that have understood this and got past it, we try to share taste with everybody. We want to have big events and go to a nice restaurant and sit down and break bread and give people a taste of like, hey, this is why you work hard so you can have this all the time. It's nice to be able to have great things. You work hard and get these great things. It's nice to be able to go out on the ocean and be on a boat all the time. It's nice to travel the islands. It's nice to travel Europe. It's nice to see and do things without the financial worry. It's nice to have the time and financial freedom. And that is a taste change, something you got to develop into no matter who you are. Most people that we get to talk to didn't come from a trust fund. They didn't come from a wealth, setup. We get to help create that here and hopefully change it generationally so that you learn what to do so you can take care of your children and they can take care of their children because we're going to pay it forward on the knowledge on how to build wealth and how to maintain wealth and how to create cash flow. That's why we focus on these things all the time. And it takes an understanding to understand why we deserve to have more than what our parents had, why we deserve to have more than maybe the neighborhood we grew up in. And we deserve it because we're favored. We deserve it because we don't need to be held under the thumb of a society that puts you into a box and says, you can only make this much and good luck living with that. Oh, and we're going to raise inflation year by year so that you're really not going to have savings at the end of it. And we're going to attack your savings everywhere where you can so that you basically have to work until you're 70 or 80 and maybe get a nice, life for 5 or 6 years. That type of crap. No, that's not okay. Because we live in the most incredible time in technology and it's only advancing. And those with the knowledge and the know-how and the capital to support the changes going forward can capitalize on it. And nowhere have I ever seen a place where anyone can win than through the eyes of marketing. We built a system that everyone can jump into and win with. We built a system that by working as a team, we can overcome challenges that people have and focus on their strengths. We have it all here. Again, I don't have a 2x4 button that I can hit you in the back of the head to wake you up to go to work on it. I can't force you to eat from the success smorgasbord. But you guys show up here on the Tuesdays, I can hopefully inspire, I can hopefully motivate, and I can lead by example, and I can teach and instill that with every one of our leaders so that we can show you the way. And we get to help build your businesses with the way we structure this. We don't do it all, but we can sure help you get you there so that if you show up, you've got a great chance it's going to succeed. If you show up and do the work, you're going to win. You just got to show up and go through it. But I'm going to tell you, this taste thing is real. And and again, you don't know what you don't know. And I hope to enlighten you to think about it. Like, why am I not doing that extra work? What am I afraid of? And fear comes into it. You know, I know the psychological process that people go through when they come into a program online. I've been doing this for a long time, right? And there's something to be said for this. People find this And it sounds great, right? They're intrigued and they want to be doing something different. And our entry prices are so low. So they come in, they get going, but all of a sudden they start seeing like, oh, this is real. Oh my gosh, now what I'm gonna have to do? Like a lot of people I think really think this is just yeah, it's just gonna be another scam. It's not gonna work. When they start seeing it work, that's a whole new fear. What am I gonna do if this does work? I've never accomplished all these things that I want. I have these big dreams. What if I can accomplish those? Especially if you're like later in your life, you maybe have given up on these dreams, and now you're like, wait, I might be able to do it here. Now that's wonderful, but that's also a fear. That's a change. You know, even though you want a better life and it sounds great and you want to do all this travel, people get cozy and comfortable with what they have, right? We tend to settle with what we have, and subconsciously we're like, that's what I'm worth. Again, back to taste. That's my taste. Yeah, that sounds all great. I don't know. And not now I can actually have it. Well, that's a whole different thing. Yeah, yes. I remember first trips to places, right? And first trip to Australia. And I'm like, man, that sounds so awesome. And the closer I got, the more real it got, right? And then I went out there and it was such a different experience than I thought it would be. And it was awesome and wonderful. And I couldn't wait to go back. Now I have a taste of traveling to Australia. And then it just got more and more. I wanted more, right? And I adapted to it. But, you know, I didn't let my age deter me. I didn't let anything deter me. I had so many people like, "Oh my gosh, how was Australia? I so want to go there one day." And I'm thinking, "Well, you're 60. You should go now. Like, go soon. Why wait? Why wait?" And it all comes down to subconsciously your dream and what you think you deserve and what you want to go to. There's a taste issue. When I talk to somebody that's making six figures a year, they have a taste for making six figures a year. So if you give them a plan on how to make that happen here, they know they can do it because they've already got a taste for it, and they know that it takes energy. And now, typically, guys, if you're making six figures a year, you're working pretty hard. And when I talk to these people, they're working 8, 10, 12-hour days. It's typically what it takes, right? And so they know what type of grit and what they're gonna have to like set as priorities to get there. Versus somebody that's making less, they're probably not working. If you're making 3 grand a month and you're working 8, 10, 12-hour days, you picked something wrong seriously somewhere because I mean, that's what you did. I mean, typically you're putting those hard hours in, you should be far ahead of that, maybe 5, 6 grand. And you can look at it, and there's all sorts of reasons and consequences and choices we made along the way, but we created something with Triple R that doesn't matter where you come from, what your situation is. If you can sacrifice and make and follow the system, you we all can make the same money. There's no limit. There's no limit. We all have access to all this because we've eliminated all the friction points. Not to mention, you guys, that capitalizing of your marketing, the funding the capital for that is the absolute single biggest hurdle. And no one here has that. It's the biggest gift we can give you guys. And I know, I mean, it was totally God created. The way that all came together, I mean, it's been an unbelievable path for us. And that overabundance for us allows us to help others to create overabundance for them. And that right there is legacy all by itself. And I got to tell you guys, I knew we had to do that. I knew that had to be done to overcome these hurdles because it doesn't matter how great your system is, if you don't, the system is like it's like a vehicle, right? You drive it, but you need fuel. No fuel, you can't go anywhere. Doesn't matter how great and shiny it is. And marketing is the fuel for what we do. Marketing is what we need. Guys, we're marketers, but we have to have cash flow to fund marketing to market. It's just part of the equation. And we solve that for everyone. All right, so I'm just going to put a little bit of heat on you guys. The number one problem is knowledge, know-how, and capital of marketing to build a business, especially a marketing business like ours. We provide all three to you guys constantly. That's out of the way. No one here can say, well, I don't have the marketing to make this happen. Oh gosh, if I just had more marketing money, I could have made this work. No one can say that here. Nobody. I'm just putting this in perspective. Now, you have so much time in your day, right? We all have 24 hours. No matter what I do, I can't find more time, but I can create more time by automating everything we can, making things as efficient as possible. We've been doing that. That PBS Vortex, when you use it the way we teach it exactly now, how to do the assisted V marketing and the V marketing, that is the most time efficient way to build this we've ever had. And it works for people brand new getting going, working in the teams with the assisted V marketing, and it works really good for those of us that really know and how to stride this. We can be so much more productive, which means we can make more money sooner for people. We can grow our teams faster than ever because we're efficient with the time. Yeah, you got to know your priorities. You got to learn how to balance your life, how to take advantage of that. You know, I make more money than most people, but I also spend my time better in the day than most people. It's how I use that time is the difference. Of course, the knowledge, the skill set, building up to that. But you guys, I've been maximizing my time since my teenage years. I've learned how to do that. It was some of the best, mentoring guiding me on that was, how to micromanage my days and know what I was doing every 5 minutes and giving myself some time to relax, meditate, but also to focus and grow. That's why I was able to do so much at a young age. Like I didn't look at it like that. I looked at it like I had goals. I want to get it done. I got the time. How am I going to knock this out and just make it happen? But I was willing to prioritize my life above all sorts of leisure activities. And I'll be clear, I play hard. I you know I've had a great life. I wasn't always in the office, and a lot of times I worked from the golf course. I worked skiing. I worked going downhill skiing. Right. I worked, and still did snowmobile treks. I worked and have been in very luxurious places because you can manage it all. It's just how effective you want to be with your time and what's your taste. I had a taste for it. I still have a taste for it. And you guys, that taste element of our life and understanding it to who you are as an individual is very key. Now, the next challenge with taste is if you're in a relationship, right? You got a spouse or a significant other. How's your taste and their taste? Are your tastes equal? Are you growing together? Are you sharing goals and what you want to achieve together? It's important to do so. I'm very fortunate that Tanya's tastes are very similar to mine. But I'm also knowing when we got together, her tastes weren't at my level. I had to introduce her to those and introduce her to those. And we went through a thing to where you got to feel deserving and all that stuff. I watched it, but see, I already knew what it was like, so you can go through it. And I look at that relationship, which I cherish so much, and I look at the relationships we have as a family here at Triple R 247, and I got to tell you this, guys. And if you look back, I mean, we've done some amazing trips and some amazing things to help raise taste with our leadership here. It's why I want you guys to be growing with me. I want you guys to be growing and expanding so we can help more and more people. Once you grow past all your needs, all your dreams, and now you can focus on the dreams of others, now we're talking. Now we're in a situation where we can help rise the taste of others and really duplicate this process and work on that vision of helping millions of families around the world with this. Taste is a big part. Yeah, you guys, we have like instructors and leaders, and they get to a certain point here, and they self-sabotage, and they don't realize they're doing it. It's not they're doing it on purpose, like consciously. It's subconscious, and they're just getting to the point where like, yeah, maybe I don't deserve to get all that, and I'll lay back, or you know, I'm going to manage. I'm not going to add more people because I'm getting to a cozy place, or that momentum's starting to build, and then they're like, oh wait, what if I go to that next level? What if I start making an extra 1,000 a week? And well, was I going to adapt? That's more than I've ever made. All these things are real that everybody goes through. Taste is real for everybody. You guys, we are our own worst enemy and best friends at all times. We will let ourselves down more than anybody else. And we are the last one to praise ourselves. Yeah, we're the ones that's got to do the work and grow. No one's going to grow for us, right? Again, I don't have a 2x4 button to hit you in the back of the head to motivate you. I don't have that, right? So you got to do it yourself. And so you got to realize, like, how bad do I want this? What am I willing to do? And I know I deserve it. And you almost got to say it to yourself every day and remind yourself every day. This is reason number, 688 why we do meetings every Tuesday is to remind you deserve it and focus on what you're going for. It's this is a business meeting. You're here and we're focusing on where we're going, right? And we're adding things to those dreams. You guys, all of this is part of taste. And I got to tell you, the fear of success is a real thing, especially those that come from an environment or a broken environment, an environment of I'll say a poor environment for lack of, I mean, that's what it is. When you come from a poor environment, fear of success is a real thing. Because, we all know where we came from. And, I got to tell you, you should, everybody deserves more than what they have. No one deserves less than what they have. You guys, God has favored all of us. We all deserve more. And especially when you're a good person with good heart and intention to help others. Intentions are one thing, right? Intentions like a dream. It's not reality yet until you make it an action or you make it a goal, give it a deadline, all the same thing. So intentions and goals. So that, intentions don't mean anything. That is a desire without the actions behind it to make it happen, right? Same thing as like a dream, an intention and dream. They're basically the same thing. Well, you have great intentions to help people. You have great intentions to help that shelter. You have great intentions to help the community, and maybe there's a family in your neighborhood that really could use some extra help, and you like to help them. Your intentions would be to help them. Well, once you start making more money and you get more access to those resources, that's what money is a resource, it's energy. You can actually help people, right? So so put that in focus and then start realizing like, man, if I can achieve more, I can do more. And what do I really want to accomplish? What do I want to do? What does my heart want to do? And you'll find that you need resources to accomplish your intent. It's just like achieving a dream and making it a goal you achieve, right? To achieve a dream, you've got to have the resources to back up achieving and creating that, to do it, right? You've got to have it. It's the same thing. And so everybody's like, well, my intention is this. I'd like to do this. Well, stating it's just, that's great. We got to put the actions behind it, right? We got to put a plan in place. How are we going to accomplish that? What's our vehicle that's going to create that income? And we have it all here. I just want you guys to understand that if you're not succeeding, it's because you're not doing the steps. But why aren't you doing the steps? What's holding you back? And we're back to this 5-letter word of taste. It's taste. What's your taste? What do what's holding you back from having that? It's your personal belief and understanding of what your value is. And one of this, it's a sad thing, and I've seen it, is people will put their value, their value as a human being will be based on what their income is. Now they don't say that, but their actions do. I'm going to make decisions because I only have this much money a month, so that's going to be what I live like. That's what I'm going to be like. I do like. Oh, I get that makes sense. But if you get to a taste where, hey, this is what I'm worth making. If I go get a new job, I'm going to basically make the same thing, or I'm in the same field, or I'm in a box that only allows so much room for what I can make. That's the taste you've established, right? And unfortunately, the job market or the job world, it kind of puts us in a taste. It puts us in a taste bracket. It does. Again, that's why entrepreneurs, business owners can do so much more because their tastes are developing and growing. It's part of what the drive is to be an entrepreneur. And not everybody's an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur can do everything from A to Z. And luckily, we have entrepreneurs that create companies like this and do this, but we build things so that we all can use our talents to work. So everything's paved here for success. I just can't force you to eat it, right? I can't force you to change your taste, but I can inspire it. I can give you knowledge to understand, like, hey, wait, what Rory's saying is right. I probably should like think about this a little bit more, right? Like, what is holding me back? And the thing about it is we all have excuses that are valid that we could say, you know what, that's why I didn't do it today. But we also got to look at like, why am I not? What is that? Am I self-sabotaging what I should be getting? The answer is yes. Because you can make a priority. Like, how bad do you want it? You really want that dream? Well, you're going to need to make priorities, and you're going to make you a priority to get that done. I can hear the excuse because I have things that happen almost every day that are valid things as a CEO that I could stop not doing my V marketing every day. There's something that always comes up that I could say, hey, I need to go focus on that. But I make the priority to build the teams I'm building, to build with you guys higher than that. So I juggle that and it has to be an extreme urgency to take me off of it. Otherwise, I'll just do it later. I will sacrifice sleep even to get it done because this is more important to keep the paces going. It's more important that I'm motivating and leading by example every day than that. I juggle it and I make it happen. You all can do that in your life. Everybody can. I watch people prioritize, I'll call it spectator stuff, over their goals and dreams all the time. And, we got family, as a grandparent, you got grandkids and activities. My golly, is that important? It's fleeting, it's gone. And then, there's always that day where you went to their last basketball game, their last soccer game, you went to the last one they ever will play. Those days are real. Lived them, see them, right? And and those are important and you focus around it. But if you plan around it, you can take care of everything. You just got to drop off things that don't matter. And if you think it matters, does it matter more than what you want to accomplish? You got to figure this out. It's so easy to keep in a habit of self sabotaging your success. When you can create momentum and have a vehicle that can create cash flow, more and more cash flow, then it gets easier because you don't have the financial problems you had. You don't have other issues. And now you understand the true importance and you can get things done better. You become a master of your day. Most, and I'll speak, I know very few people that I can say master their day. You all need to learn how to master your day. I need to have Tanya come on here and teach you guys more stuff because it adds up. If I exercise my understanding of a better day and planning it out more than you do, and that gives me an extra hour to do V marketing, an extra hour every day. Oh yeah, I'm going to win. You could have made the same changes, but taste is going to get involved. We self sabotage, and we do it out of a learned understanding, right? Our environment probably did the same thing, and and it's something I just want to really express and have you guys take it to heart and then think about it. Like, why am I not applying more to this? You guys are all here. You want this. You're showing up for it. So let's show up for the rest of the stuff. Let's figure out like, you know what? I do deserve it. Here's the goals I want to get done. I need to make this stuff and knock it out of the way. I need to say no to these things so I can say yes to these things. Because again, we only have 24 hours in the day. You can't do it all. You can't be in two places at once, nor can you put, focus on two things at once. But you can balance it all out. You can prioritize it all out. You can say no to these things so you can say yes to this so that you can say yes to even more things later that are more important to you if you build it that way. All right. I'm sure I'll revisit taste again. This is my update here, but I got to tell you guys, find a reason to make your dreams happen, right? A dream and intent, basically the same thing. You got to make it a goal, give it a deadline, apply the resources and action items to go make it happen. One of those action items and the resource is your time and your attention to it. That's something you control, right? You control your time. And for those that are like working, a job and you got your commute time, you got your job time, you got your commute time home. That extra time is valuable time, right? That's the time with the family and everything else. Well, Do I want more time with the family? And what sacrifice do I need to make so that I can replace the job if that's what you want? Now, I know there's some people like, hey, I love my job, I just don't make enough. I need to make stuff on the side. Well, you got to prioritize the same way, get things going. Then you can have your cake and you can eat it too. It's it's so important to understand the fundamentals of doing all this. And this is one of the most important things I could teach anybody is how to manage your time and priorities and then go apply it to what we have for you. But remember, we've knocked out all the big hurdles. It's all done here. No one here has to go get 20 grand for marketing. No one here's got to find a way like I need 10 grand a month for the next 6 months. No one here has that problem. Kenny and I took that on for everybody. We have teams here that are exercising tens of thousands of dollars in marketing every week. Kenny and I are so happy to be able to fund that for you guys. And we're moving products and services, guys. We're doing what we say. Um, I'm going to end that and I'm going to stop my recording here because I got that part. I got an update to give everybody, and I was going to do it in the instructor call, so you guys all get it right now, and then we're going to kick over. July 1st, that's today. Bella Vita has made some changes. Oh, and there's more coming, and they're all awesome. So you notice in the back, the ranks have changed. The star, all star, rock star, superstar, V star. It's no longer that terminology. We're in like sapphire, emerald, diamond, double diamond, triple diamond. We're in a universal language that the whole world understands, and that started July 1. That's because this is a mega global company. Just so you guys understand, as far as Bella Vita, the North America, which is what we focus on the most, we're not even the top 20 countries right now. Asia is just huge. Okay. Now we'll dominate, we'll grow, we'll get there. We have stuff going on, but we are in a global company by every angle, and that's amazing for us. And it comes with a lot of perks. I also gonna say, you guys, we're like a month or two away from a lot of our leadership, people that have been here for years, reaching 5 years in Bella Vita. 5 years is retirement, which means no more annual fees. It means no more quotas of what we got to buy on product because we are grandfathered. We're in a retirement zone. And here's and all of us are still going to buy product because we all love the products that are here. But it's like it's I mean, we're actually seeing this happen. We've never seen another company in the industry do all that. And that means you guys you're just in and we just get to go. You don't have to worry about when you order the product, you just order as you need it. Everything's great. But also our overheads just get drastically reduced, right? So everybody that's been here for that 5 years, their overhead literally drops from like 180 a month to the minimum overhead of 80. It's just incredible what happens, right? So call it $100 a month because I mean everything gets better the longer people stick around here. So I mean even that is just an impressive thing. Like people get in, they get learning, they get going, and I want to cover something, and I want to speak to people that have been here for a long time and the people that are here new. The way we do things now, people can get going so much faster. They can make money so much faster because the learning curve to succeeding has been stepped up. But also, we get people doing assisted V marketing before they fully have to do all the V marketing stuff, and they can grow into it by making money with the teams. Biggest change we've ever made. Biggest change, and it speeds up the time of success. And when you speed up the time of success for your students, it speeds up the time of success for their students and their students. The compound effect of that is humongous. So here's what I'm going to leave with, and we'll go to the millionaire course. Get going. Go through the struggles of learning it. Work with your teams. Take advantage of what we have here. Get your PBS build, get your Google AdSense going, but get that assisted V marketing going like your life depends on it. Look at your dreams, make sure you want them bad enough. And if you don't want your dreams bad enough, Go find some bigger dreams. What would you do if you had no issue with time and money? You guys, the world's a gorgeous place. And many of you haven't seen all these beautiful places. Why not? You deserve it. You literally can get on a flight and get anywhere around the world, have great places to stay, great food to eat. It just takes time and money, right? So create that time freedom, create that financial freedom, and go get it done. Find out what's in your way taste wise and overcome it. And it's okay to voice this out. And I'm going to put this out to all the instructors. So MSIs, PSIs, GSIs, especially, it's okay to have, we do these study halls. It's okay to have a study hall every now and then. We can people like, hey, let's talk about our taste issues. Guess what? We're all in the same similar boat. We all have similar backgrounds and stuff coming up there. You're not the only one that's feeling like you don't deserve that money. And when you open up and talk about it, it helps. I promise you, I've had this taste talk with every leader here. We've broken things down over years. There's a reason. It's got to be done. It's literally a weight. It's like a big heavy backpack you've been carrying and didn't realize you could take it off. That's really what it is. It's a weight on your success that you didn't realize you could get rid of. And it's all because you just have the understanding to say, hey, I do deserve this. And it doesn't matter where my family came from. I get it. If it's going to be, it's up to me. And I can change this now. I can make it better for my generations going forward because I have the right vehicle to do so. I just need to exercise it and jump in and go. That is what it comes down to. All right. Love you guys.